Okay, I'm still struggling to get food assistance, and I've looked up places where they feed people who are unhoused. And there's a place in Oceanside called Brother Benno's, and I looked up their website, and they do drug addiction for men, drug addiction recovery for men, food, breakfast, food pantry kind of thing, sack lunches, showers, and a couple other things. And I am going to check out how the services are. Their website looks really cool. They have a really good transparency about where their money goes. One thing I always look at is how much the CEO makes and the people at the top. And I also look at the people, their demographics. And this is led by a white male, which is pretty typical for a lot of these organizations. I was happy to see that he only makes $90-something thousand a year, which is pretty rare for a CEO of a fairly large nonprofit. They usually make 200 to 300 to 400, sometimes 500,000. So that's a A+ part of the program. I was very disappointed to see that they really depend on 12-step recovery. They put that in there, that their program is 12-step focused, which is very culty and not psychologically based or trauma informed. So I'm very disappointed that their program runs on 12-step. I'm really interested to see if we can start turning the tide from 12-step into smart recovery and trauma informed therapy. So so I would bring them down to a B, because they are heavily focused on that. They are a religious organization. Catholic organizations tend to be less evangelical about their way being the way that heals. I went to a program a couple weeks ago, and the drug addiction recovery program was all based on Jesus saved me. And Jesus does not save you. Even if you are into that, there's a lot more that goes into recovery than just belief. There's community, there's social structures that help, there's consistency, there's all kinds of psychological factors that are helping someone get better. Even if they're going to a church every Sunday, it's not necessarily the belief, it's the commitment, and it's the surrounding community and support, and so many other things that go in that don't have anything to do with God. So feeling loved is really important for recovery. It doesn't have to be by God, though. It can be by people, it can be by animals, it can be by the earth. Love is an important element. And if you read the New Testament, it says God is love. John says God is love. So I think Christianity can have some aspect of love in it. There's a lot of non-loving things that are happening in Christianity and in the Bible and in religion in general. So anyway, that's a whole nother topic. I will be going in a little bit to see what I can see. Okay, so I just went and had breakfast, and very interesting. I'm downgrading them to like a C/D, D+, C-, somewhere in there. On trauma-informed care, they definitely got a D. On being nice, like the individual people were nice, A+. They were all very nice. But here's the scenario. I walked in, I followed a bunch of people. They opened the doors. I follow all these people in. They look like they know what they're doing. So I just went and followed them and got in line in the cafeteria. And then we had to say we didn't have to, but they were like, we're saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Awkward. I haven't said the Pledge of Allegiance in I don't know how long, like years and years and years. Maybe at a baseball game, but I personally don't say the Pledge of Allegiance. I do not pledge allegiance to anyone or anything. So I felt uncomfortable not saying it, even though I didn't. And then we said the Serenity Prayer, and I have my issues with that, whatever, but it's definitely setting a stage for this is who we are. We are Americans, and we will be loyal to America. We are AA people, and we will be loyal to this notion that we have issues and whatever the AA thing is. And then we had to listen to this lady sing Zippity Doo Dah. It was very weird and awkward, and she was trying to get other people to sing it. Zippity Doo Dah, zippity, Mr. Bluebird's on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's action, everything. It was weird. It was like, what does that have to do with anything? Maybe trying to cheer us up. I don't know. And then we got to eat, and I got close to the front. I realized that people were giving badges to get food. I didn't have a badge. So I was asked somebody next to me, I was like, what, do you have to have a badge? And they're like, yeah, you're supposed to go get that first before you come over here. And there's no signs, no signage anywhere that says like first stop, second stop, come here if you do this if you do that. That is so frustrating to me. And so I went back and I got in line to get a badge, and they want like all my information. They wanted my name, my address. Like I fucking live in my car. I don't have an address. So they're like a previous address, like trying to validate who I am. I don't know. And they wanted demographics, like, am I white? Am I brown? Am I this? Am I that? And I understand for grants, like you need to have a certain amount of people of color that you're serving to get certain grants. You have to have a certain age group that you're serving to get certain grants. So I understand it, but I don't think you need someone's name. You can just have them fill out a demographics form without having their name on it, because in this day and age, with all the ICE issues, all of the homeless crackdowns, all the illegality of being homeless, like you give them your name and then facial recognition. I'm not trying to be paranoid. I'm just saying, like, we're not far from sharing this information with the wrong people and you're in jail. So I gave them a name, and then they wanted to take my picture, and I was like, no, like I don't need my picture in some database. And then I realized it's run by the San Diego Food Bank, and I am like, what? Who are you sharing this information with? And why does the San Diego Food Bank want my information? Why can't they just give out food and take some demographic information? I'm not okay with that. That is not okay, that they are lining all these people up in a database without even offering like housing or something like that. That's really what you would need a name for, is like, oh yeah, you're going to move into a house. So I was really frustrated. I really wanted the fruit, because I haven't had fruit in a couple weeks, because I've just been eating like cereal bars and stuff. And so I gave them a name. I said, you can't take my picture. I'm not okay with that. I'd rather starve. And the guy was really nice. He was like, okay, we'll let it go this time, but next time we'll have to take your picture, but here's your number. So I went in and got some food. Oh, and the tray that the food was served on was disgusting looking. It was dirty looking. I'm sure they wash it, but it's plastic and it's old, and they put the food right on there. Like, I mean, it's been a while since I've been in a cafeteria, but I do not get easily grossed out. Like, I could eat off a stick, like peanut butter with a stick, but I ate it anyway, of course, because I'm not that worried, but it just didn't seem right. So I don't know what to do with that. But I'm not trying to pick on anyone. I just think we need to do better. We can do better. I think we can do better. The perception of homelessness in America is they don't deserve it. So even when people are trying to be helpful, they don't really study what that means. And then when we were in there, a tour was brought in, a tour of people, very like nicer clothes. I was so appalled. Like, they're walking through, kind of looking around, like, oh, interesting, this is how you deal with homeless people. Oh, and while the intention may be to get volunteers, you do not parade people who have money through a bunch of people who don't have money. It's like a circuit, like we're the circus animals and they're observing us. Like, you put them in a training, you train them on how to interact with us, and then you let them serve. You don't parade them through and show them what it's like with the people in there. That is not trauma informed. It is not careful. It is not kind. It makes me feel like shite to be looked at like, oh, this is the way you help homeless people, those homeless people. So I think they're nice. I think they are not trained. I think they are not informed. I think they are deep into the old school, non-psychologically oriented focus on helping people. And it continues to harm people when you do not include some sort of educated focus on what really works in the social aspects of it, the trauma-informed aspect, the psychology aspect, not patriarchal white psychology, the bring in some indigenous communities to teach them how to do community. And again, it's a Catholic-based organization, so of course it's going to have patriarchal structure. And it just continues to disappoint me. I don't know why I even hope. But they have a nice website. And they're nice. But nice isn't good enough. Nice, ignorant people hurt people.